Hey guys, it's me, HayIshMandy, and I'm back to do some more Disney Dreamlight Valley and hopefully do Simba and Nala's quests and finish those up today. Of course, the first thing I do when I jump back into the game is I always head straight into Scrooge's store and buy whatever items I have not bought already or that I want more of. My clothing always runs out so fast. All of those empty display cases really make me sad. But I've already gotten so many items from the game, it's hard for me to remember which ones I do and don't have. But I'm recording this in the future when the new update has come out, and luckily they've put in a little system where to put an orange dot near the items that you have not bought before, so that's really nice. I'm glad that new update came out with that. And here you will just see me going ahead and making a couple dishes to give to Simba to get his friendship skills up. I don't know why, but there's something about making food items in Disney Dreamlight Valley that is so soothing and so relaxing. So with those dishes I made, I went ahead and gave them to both Simba and Nala to try and increase their friendship. And with that dish I was able to get Simba up to level 6. Gosh, it takes so long to level him up. But I do love seeing all of the different gifts. Eventually I did some farming with Nala and was able to get her up to level 9, and then I went back home and gave her a couple more flowers to get her all the way up to level 10. And yes, I did waste a lot of my flowers and it was very sad. But after doing all of that, I was able to start up Nala's last quest to figure out more about the mysterious lioness statues. So I went to go ahead and talk to Ursula.
Hello, dear.
Basically, she ended up saying that, of course, you know, everything with Ursula, she needs a little give and return. But she basically ended up telling me that I needed to go find certain gems and then put those gems in the different lioness statues and then put those lioness statues at different parts of the world. So after making all of those statues, I went ahead and placed them in the different parts of the world. Now the trick is, that took me way too long to figure out, is every statue has to go in the place where the gem is found, and they have to go near where the rifts are. I was just trying to put them in any old place in the world, and that did not work. You have to put them near the rifts in the bodies of water. Once you do that, everything will be all peachy. And you will know that you've put the statues in the right place when you can go talk to Nala. She will feel a tingly sensation in the air and the rifts will be closing up, but not before a little fishy can swim through. And she smells that fish and she wants that fish, so she tells us to go fishing for the fish in the different locations. And once you get those fish, you can take them to Remy and cook up a delicious meal for Nala. The, of course, only catch is that you can only fish for these certain fish in the morning and in the evening, and of course I was playing this game in the mid-afternoon, so I wasn't getting any special fish. So then I decided to go ahead and work on Buzz's next quest. I don't know why I found it so comical that Simba was following me around in Buzz's tiny little trailer, but I liked that. Anyways, Buzz's next quest is to go around and finding the different little alien toys that will appear in certain people's houses. I believe I found one alien in Buzz's house, then I found the next little alien toy in Mickey's house, and then Donald's house. But these aliens only appear so many on certain days, so you can only pick up so many aliens every day. And then you have to wait another day, and then you can go back to the same houses and find even more aliens. So I found another alien at Woody's house, and then I was able to go to Anna and Crystal's house and find the last alien that I had found for the day. And yes, I actually did go into every single villager's house to try and find the aliens, but I'm gonna tell you, they only appear at certain houses. After doing everything that I could for Buzz that day, I went ahead and started 2 quests with Wally, one called Bunnies on the Run, where you basically just run around the plaza catching 5 different little bunnies. And I'm proud to say I did this quest without too much trouble. Except for that last little one that kind of evaded me for a minute, but I got him anyways. After you catch all the bunnies, you can head back to Wally and finish up the quest. I actually did go ahead and immediately start Wally's next quest, which was picking flowers with him, but I seem to have lost the footage for that, so you don't get to see it, so sorry. But then I went ahead and ran over to Merlin, who was trapped behind some vines, and started up his next quest. And sadly, the star coins fell out, but I knew I was not going to be able to get them because Merlin's area for here is kind of a maze for me, so I knew I wasn't getting them, so I didn't even try. But basically, Merlin's quest involves Mother Gothel and Ursula, and he thinks that they are, of course, up to no good. So he has us go and basically spy on them. He says he knows when their next meeting place is going to be. So he tells me to wait until tomorrow to go ahead and catch Ursula and Mother Gothel in the middle of their nefarious schemes. But finally, it was evening time, and I was able to go catch the strange fish that Nala wanted me to catch. So then I took that strange fish over to Remy and gave it to him and learned a recipe that I was able to use involving that fish to give to Nala. And of course, the dish is called a lioness's feast. So I went ahead and used Remy's stove to quickly go ahead and whip that up using the recipe that I had learned from Remy, which involves mushrooms, tomatoes, basils, and that strange fish. And it makes a lovely soup of a beautiful pink color. So once I made that up, I took that straight over to where Nala was and gave it to her. And then after giving Nala the dish, she ate it up and was super pleased with the dish. And so she told me that she had a gift that she got from Scrooge, which happens to be her level 10 gift, which is a giant oasis. I, of course, wasted absolutely no time setting that up, and I went ahead and put it right next to Pride Rock. And honestly, I'd say it's pretty cute. I'll take it. The next morning, I came back to the game, and it was time to spy on Ursula and Mother Gothel. And honestly, I woke up pretty close. It was saved by the bell, really, because it was almost 12 in the afternoon, so I almost forgot about it, but I happened to make it just in time to hear about their nefarious plan, their dastardly deeds, and it was them basically just complaining about Merlin, which was fantastic. And then I went up to Mother Gothel and confronted, or not Mother Gothel, I went up to Ursula and confronted her about what her and Gothel were talking about. Which, of course, Ursula and Gothel were actually not up to anything nefarious. They were just helping each other out. Ursula was giving Gothel a little potion that would help with the pests in her house, but then Ursula goes on to say that, of course, is never good enough. Any socialization between villains is always seen as something dastardly that they're doing, and Merlin always has to accuse them of doing something wrong. So Ursula sends me back to go tell Merlin to basically mind his own business and that they were doing nothing. So I go back and tell Merlin that basically they're just friends, they're doing nothing wrong, and that he needs to leave them alone. And that is the end of his quest. And then after some more grinding, I was able to get Simba finally up to level 7, so I could open up his level 7 quest. Once I started Simba's quest, he talks about remembering that he had an important duty in the village, something to do with food. So he asks me to go investigate Scar, because he feels like there's something tied to Scar. Once finding Scar, I begin talking to him about Simba's forgotten memories. Scar says that before the forgetting, Simba was in charge of protecting the Dreamlight tree, and that after the forgetting, the tree was destroyed. So basically, he tells me that I need to go find the seeds that are in a secret cave in the mines in Sunlit Plateau. Once I got in the cave, I began mining the rocks, because I, can't pass up that opportunity. But you pass the rock path, mine more rocks on your way to the cave. Once you make your way back to the very big open area, you will see there's this little pillar right here that is shining and glowing. And once you mine even more rocks, you can go ahead and press E on the stone and it will open up the secret passageway for you. And this secret entrance is actually really stinking cute. There's a bunch of little books and little cave drawings, so you can just go ahead and take a look at those. They're not really important to the plot, but you will find some little test tubes and beakers over on the desk. But you weren't sure at the time what to do with it, so you head out of the cave and go talk to Merlin and tell him about your findings and hope that he can help you figure out what you need to do. After discussing things with Merlin, he basically tells you that you will have the seeds and that you have to awaken the seeds, so you have to make these 2 potions, which Merlin then tells you the ingredients that you will need to make for these 2 potions. One being the potion of growth and the other being the potion of dust. After making up both of those potions, you can head on back to the cave and put the 2 potions on the desk in the tubes and beaker location. Once you place the potions, the seeds will come flopping out after you press E to interact with the desk, and then you can go talk to Simba and give him the seeds that you found. After talking with Simba, he tells you that he knows the perfect place that you can go ahead and plant the seeds. So then you have to go running out of the cave and follow Simba to his perfect seed planting location. And he got stuck for me, so I had to go ahead and push him a little bit to give him a little bit of help me out. So I went ahead, planted the seed, and then I watered it. And of course, it takes a long time to actually grow the tree, so I waited for the next day when the tree was ready to grow. But you could also just use a growth serum and do that. I don't know why I didn't do that. I just ended up waiting. So, And once the tree is grown, Simba ends up talking to Scar, basically telling him to back off the tree and that he shouldn't mess with it. And Scar says, "I'm not going to mess with it because HayIshMandy would get mad at me because Scar loves me." And I love that. The next day, I was able to go back through all the houses and find the rest of the aliens that I needed for Buzz, so I was able to go back to him and give him back all the aliens. Once you do that for him, he will give you another package, and I forgot to open the package from the day before, but he gives you 5 ingots, 5 clay, and some sticks. And then he also, from the other package, give you 5 cloth, fibers, glass, and trinkets. And after even more grinding the day, I was once again finally able to get Simba up to level 10 and start his next quest. After talking with Simba a little more, he talks to me about how he would like to plant even more Dreamlight trees. So he talks to me that maybe Remy would know something because we used to make a lot of dishes with the fruit. And he also says that Mother Gothel would often pick the fruit, so he tells me to go talk to her and see if she knows anything about how we can make even more Dreamlight fruit trees. So after talking with Simba, I go ahead and find Mother Gothel, and she tells me that I need to make Dreamlight tree fertilizer. So I go ahead and gather up the supplies I need and make that. Some of these supplies being water from the special tree in Sunlit Plateau. And the other ingredient being dream fruit, which sucks because you only harvest 3 dream fruit in 24 hours. And of course, I already plucked 3. And I gave 1 to Simba because he wanted to examine it. So I had to wait till the next day to come back and harvest even more dream fruit so I could go ahead and make the Dreamlight fertilizer to complete Simba's quest. After crafting the Dreamlight fertilizer, I go ahead and put it on my watering can and then go talk to Simba, who has since talked to Mother Gothel and figured out how to go ahead and plant the Dreamlight trees. And part of that involves going ahead and watering different flowers in the locations where we need to plant the trees. So I go ahead and water 5 flowers from each of the different locations, being the Forgotten Lands, Frosted Heights, and the Glade of Trust. So after watering the flowers, I go ahead and head back to Simba, who wants us to then go ahead and run all the way across the world and go meet up by the Dreamlight tree, only for him to open up another discussion saying how he feels the trees growing all around us, and that because we watered the different flowers, now different Dreamlight trees are popping up in those locations. And he's so excited about that he has to go talk to Nala and have the longest conversation ever about how happy he is and how Nala's so happy that he's being so responsible and blah 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 blah. And after that long-winded conversation, you can then go to Simba, who says that he's so happy and thanks you for helping him with his quest. And that is the end of Simba's level 10 quest. Good God. So that's the end of the video. Until next time, I'll see you guys all later. Bye!